I feel the cool breeze, it's such a lovely tease.
Howdy.
Hi, everybody. Welcome to our Friday night Posca Paint Party. And tonight we are painting butterflies. And our special guest is Andrea Ehrhardt, who is a large-scale muralist. And I'm going to show you photos of her work in a couple minutes. Her work will blow your mind. She's known for her butterflies. She's known for all kinds of stuff, and we're going to get to know her really well. But before we bring her on, we do want to thank Posca USA for bringing this to you tonight. And we are going to give a box of Poscas away to one lucky winner, somebody who's on here with us tonight. And we have a second thing we're going to give away. And what is it? It is a butterfly air freshener with Brophy art on it. This was a licensed product from, I don't know how many years ago. How long ago was this?
Those were in Australia.
Yeah, these were in Australia and New Zealand many years ago, and we still have a bunch of samples left. So we're going to give some of these out. They're just really cool.
Yeah.
And so, hey, yeah, let's have fun tonight, you guys.
All right. We're going to be ready to go. I hope everybody is ready to paint butterflies. I've been working on this all day long, and I'm very pleased if we can highlight Andrea. Everybody say hi to Andrea. It's so nice to have you here.
Hi, Andrea.
Hi, guys. Hello.
And, you know, we did an interview earlier this week, and it was really nice to meet you on the call. And, you know, so how long have you been painting butterflies?
Well, I've been painting butterflies for, I don't know,
Probably your whole life,
5 years, but I've been a professional muralist for, yeah, yeah, basically.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I've been full-time for the last, I don't know, like 8 years now almost, which is crazy.
Yeah. I just, you know, when I first saw your work on Instagram, I just thought it was so amazing. I mean, a butterfly in itself is amazing, but when you do your large scale butterflies, are just so cool. And I can just see people taking photos of them. I think Maria's going to bring some up here.
I am going to bring up some of Andrea's amazing butterflies. So is this the one that's behind you right now?
Yes, yes.
Awesome.
And that's painted with acrylics mainly?
Yeah, yep.
Wow, this one's amazing. Do you know the names of all these butterflies? Like,
I do not, but that one is actually at our local zoo for people to take photos with.
wow. And tell everybody where you're in Missouri. What city in Missouri are you?
Yeah, I'm in Springfield, Missouri, which I think it's like the third largest city in Missouri. We have a population of 160,000, I think, so it's like a little big town. That's kind of what I like to call it.
Well, you know, we've driven cross country many times, and we drove through Missouri, and that river is no joke. The Missouri River was just crazy. That I thought the Mississippi was cool, but the Missouri's moving much faster, and it's gnarly. No, here's one of your murals, man. This is great.
Where's this one, Andrea?
Yeah, that one was actually. Yeah, this one was actually my first ever street art piece here in Springfield. It was the first one I ever did, and it's actually the favorite. I think I've done maybe 10 or more street art since then, and everybody still loves that one. That one's the one that gets people talking.
It's like 3D. The way you do the how it's breaking away, like, you know, fractalizing into little butterflies. I mean, it's just, it just adds so much depth to it. And so these are designed for people to take photos with them, right? Like this.
Yeah.
Oh, this is so cool. So for everybody out there, you know, in your town, you know, being able to do art that people can, you know, interact with is a really amazing thing. I know when I'm out, you know, in different cities, and you know, whether you're seeing somebody's street art or we saw a couple Banksy pieces, and it was just kind of neat, just, you know, being able to see them. And San Francisco is known, and in Europe I saw a lot, in Germany, but you know, most of the artists that I know, just so you realize, they get permission to do these murals, and or they're paid to do these murals, which is really cool. Especially in LA, I've worked with a lot of graffiti artists where they have like a rotating wall where they paint it like once a month, which is
Oh, wow.
yeah. So that's kind of fun. So they like all get together and do this huge mural together, and it stays for about a month, and then they do it again the next month, and somebody sponsors that wall. And so just really neat things to think about. And so everybody out there, I know most of you have been on these calls before, but just to let you know, we're going to get started painting. And for the first 20 minutes or so, you know, we'll kind of just let Andrea see what she's painting, and then I'll show you what I'm painting. And then we'll go back and forth talking about tips and things like that. Feel free to ask questions at any moment. All you have to do is ask a question in the chat, and Maria and Jillian will get that question going for us. And then about halfway through, we'll get everybody to raise their hands to see what they're working on. And this is your chance to ask Andrea questions about being a muralist, about being an artist, about being inspired by butterflies or anything else. But one of the things I wanted to ask is I'd never met anybody that's been to Antarctica. So I heard that you went there.
What was it
Yes.
like in Antarctica?
Yeah, it was, I mean, it's very white, but it was so cool. And it's not as cold as you think it would be. I think it was like, we had really good weather. So we went in the summer, their summer, which was beginning of March. So and the weather was like, I mean, it was like high 40s every day, and then at night it would get down to like 20. But like the wildlife that we saw there was just unbelievable. I'd say we saw 100 whales for being there for about 10 days, and seals, and probably around 1 million penguins. It was just, the wildlife is just amazing down in there. I can't stress it enough. Like if anybody has a chance to go. It's so cool.
I hear like the color of the ice is like just amazing.
It is, yeah. The glacier ice, like whenever it gets packed together so much, and there's like no air in the ice, it's like a really cool blue. And yeah, we saw a couple glaciers actually just like capsize and fall into the water, and it creates this huge tidal wave, and that hits the boat, and it was so cool. It was just like an experience unlike any other that I've ever experienced traveling. And I know you guys travel a lot as well, yeah?
Yeah, so that's definitely on our bucket list. One day we hope to get there. And I guess, needless to say, there's probably no butterflies there. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Maybe a moth, maybe? I don't know.
Maybe. So why don't we, let's get right into it. And, you know, I'm going to show everybody what I'm doing. And if anybody saw my Instagram post earlier, this is what I ended up with. And what I did is I printed out a moth, not a butterfly, because I like the moths have these, some of them have these eye looking things. And if anybody getting started, if you have an image that you want to look at, you fold it in half, and you kind of worry about, for me anyway, Andrea, I'm going to ask your opinion too, but you know, I just worry about half of it, and then I drew it on this piece of cardboard, and you can see the time lapse of this whole thing, and then I cut it out so that I could trace it. And so I just did both, so I could flip it back and forth. You could do this on a piece of paper or whatnot, but that's a really cool way to be able to do a nice set of butterfly wings. And especially for me, because I'm doing this like super psychedelic one that I do want it to be symmetrical, but it's just my map. You know how I always tell you it's just a map. So it's going to be symmetrical, but I'm going to go off a little bit so it's not just perfect, because like nature never really does it perfect. It always has some kind of like little difference. So that's kind of how I did it. Andrea, you have any tips on how you do butterflies and inspiration and such?
Yeah, Yeah, you got it right on the nail on the head. I basically just like focus on one area at first, because doing the whole thing is can kind of be overwhelming. And so I just kind of, just like you, like I have my markers over here and everything covering this up, and I'm just focusing on the left side for now, just kind of figuring it out, because I'm just kind of going along with it, figuring it out as I go.
Yeah, and I like what you got going on here. You got a bunch of little butterflies in your painting.
Yeah. Yeah, well, I usually paint with the butterflies on the outside, and so I was like, well, what if I switch it up and paint them with them on the inside? So
You're living dangerous.
yeah, exactly.
So please, anybody out there, if you have any questions for us, please put it in the chat so Maria and Jillian can ask for you. And you can see Andrea, can we see the butterfly underneath your pens there?
Yeah, so I actually printed out your butterfly for reference to see like what Poscas are capable of. And then I found another cool one. It just has a bunch of psychedelic colors. And I don't know, I'm just gonna kind of do a blend of those two. I really like how yours has like really light colors in the middle, and then it goes out to darker colors. And then this just has a bunch of swirls a little bit everywhere. It's a little bit of chaos. So I'm just gonna kind of mix it and do a little bit of everything.
Yeah, and so for those of you out there, I mean, I know some people are probably painting like a monarch, similar to Andrea's murals, but you can really have fun with this, just with the shape. That's what's kind of cool about using a template where you flip it back and forth. You have the butterfly shape, and then you can just kind of add things and make it your own. And that's kind of fun. It kind of lets off the pressure too. I know when I'm trying to do like a realistic version of a monarch or something, I always seem to get it wrong and a little funky. And so that's kind of a reason why I make it my own. And maybe that's why I started doing it in the first place. But for me, I'm using it like as a little map, and I'm using all my pink and doing this little outline. And just like all my other paintings, I just use my color scheme that's in my hand, which this is purple, red to pink. And I'm gonna do all the stuff that's this color for a little while, and then I'll switch colors. And I wanted to get this started for you, so I wasn't starting from scratch like most of my other pieces. You can see like this was the piece from the last class, which is a lot smaller. And I didn't want to do something so small. I wanted to be able to do something a little bigger for the butterfly class. I was really inspired by Andrea's work, because she works usually so big. It's probably hard for you to go small.
Yeah, it's different for sure. I mean, I feel like when you're working big, you can just like do so many things and be here, there, and there. Also, with working big with murals, you don't have to put a whole lot of detail in things, and that's kind of something I had to learn with murals, as you know, I'm sure. And so with little things, I feel like I'm using like such little pens and little pencils and stuff, and you put all the little bitty details. But with murals, you just kind of slap paint on there, step back and see if it works, and then slap paint somewhere else. Like there's not a ton of detail.
Yeah. Have you ever used spray paint yet, or spray cans?
I'm just now getting into the spray can thing, and I'm also realizing how much time it saves me using a spray can, especially on like brick, as opposed to just like the latex. I'm like, why have I not used this the whole time?
Oh, it's going to change your world. Anybody out there who's doing art and you have not tried spray cans, you got like Mountain 94 and Montana cans, and you got all different kinds of brands. But the key is it's low pressure, and the tips are all different to where they spray different patterns. So you might have a large pattern or tight pattern, a little pencil pattern. And once you learn all that and you kind of paint with your whole body, you're like sitting there like, and it's so fast. And if you make a mistake or you don't like something, you can paint right over it instantly. And man, it is just so liberating as far as being able to execute an idea so quickly and just kind of go for it. Because there again, you're doing layers. You kind of do a sketch with like a gray or something, and then you start building it up, and you just keep adding color. And God, wait, once you get enough colors, Andrea, and you attack a wall, you're just going to be going crazy.
Yeah, I bet. Yeah, I'm excited to like learn more about using the different tips on there too, because right now I just go to the hardware store and pick out a bunch of different paint, and I haven't even begun getting into like the Montana colors and all the different tips. So I heard there's a certain kind of spray paint where that's kind of see-through in a way, to where you can like have a highlight on top of it rather than just cover up.
Yeah, so
it's underneath.
It's transparent. So you have these transparent like blues and like reds. So instead of having to create a fade or something with a whole color, you're able to do it just with a transparent, which really leaves the integrity of the color underneath it. And man, there's some guys that do so much amazing realistic paintings because they're really being able to shade it real gently.
So cool.
I was lucky enough, you know, a couple of my clients, they paint vans called escape camper vans, and they supply us with all the paint. They have probably more paint than anybody in the United States. And all we have to do, the vans are all taped off and they're ready to go. And all we have to do is paint them. So it's great. It's like one of the best gigs ever. So maybe if you're ever in California, I'll take you up there and unleash you on a van.
So we have a couple questions, and before I get to the first question, I just want to shout out. And we have 150 people on right now.
Right on, everybody.
Which is so awesome. And they're from all over the world. And I'm just going to shout out to a few of these people. A lot of them we know, like Kristen and Brian Finn from Northern California. We've got Ryan from Salem, Oregon. Our good friend Ross McLean, who's the art chair at Furman University. What's up, Ross?
Hey, Ross.
Andy from Montana. And of course, we've got Keone and Steven and Hot Rod, Joe and Parker. I mean, these are people that are always joining us. CJ from Japan. And I'll shout out to a few more people. Oh, but one last thing. Ronnie has joined us from Western Australia, and it's 8 in the morning there.
Oh, wow.
That's
Good
dedication.
morning.
Pretty early. So I hope you're not having a beer, Ronnie. I hope you're having a cup of coffee instead.
Here's the Ronnie, come all the way from.
Here's to Ronnie.
Yeah.
Hey, catch a barrel.
There we go.
Get two.
Here's to Ronnie. Okay, so a question from a good friend, Janine Brown, who happens to be real close to us. Janine asked, Drew, and this is a common question, how do you deal with pencil lines?
It's a good question. So, and I've told this story before, you know, I used to be real wanting to get rid of the pencil lines. And when you see people drawing with pencil, you know, I'm real loose and kind of like I'm all over the place. There's a lot of pencil line. And, you know, I thought that was a no-no. I just kind of go right over it. The Poscas will paint right over it. It will pick up a little bit of the pencil and add to the color. So it might turn this yellow like a little bit of a grayish yellow. But I don't worry about it so much. I just kind of keep going. And I'll tell you why I don't worry about it is because, you know, I used to see, you know, T-shirts and posters and art, like album covers, and everything looks so perfect. I didn't realize that was like finished production art, you know, and it'd been through so many processes. And I went to my first museum exhibit of a guy named Rick Griffin, and he's an amazing artist that did a bunch of album covers for everybody from the Grateful Dead to Bob Dylan, did stuff for Jimi Hendrix. He did a lot of stuff in the surf industry. And, you know, he was probably one of the coolest graphic artists of the 60s and 70s. And anyway, so I went to his exhibit and I saw his originals. And they looked like mine. You could see the pencil lines. You could see where he whited stuff out, where he cut things, where he painted over things. and how much effort he put into making this piece of art cool. And it was technically somebody else's job to like clean up the file and get it ready for print. So I know people like to make everything like perfect and beautiful, but sometimes, you know, getting this idea out is kind of more important. You know, they probably tell you something totally different in art school, and especially my friends who went to art center, they teach you how to paint everything so perfect you can't even see the brush strokes, which is really good too. I mean, that's awesome, but I really like the looseness, so don't worry about the pencil line so much, is my advice. It's a long answer, sorry.
And I've got a couple more questions, but I also want to shout out to Scarlett in New York and Lucy in Spain, Taylor and Cindy, and then there's a Patricia who's in Missouri. You might even know her, Andrea. I don't know. You know, we know what a small town the state of Missouri is. I'm kidding. I'm totally joking. Okay, so Kurt's question is, and Andrea, you might be able to answer this. I have a short, quick answer. You might have a better one. How do you get permission through the cities to do murals? What permits do you need? Do you have an answer for that, Andrea?
Yeah, so a lot of people are really shocked to find out that I have never asked the city for permission, and that doesn't mean like I didn't ask anybody for permission. I just think that asking the city, there's a more of a likely chance of saying no, and you have to provide a lot more things. So I just go straight to the building owner, who is usually paying for it, and who usually, you know, is with me through the design phase and is like ultimately going to benefit from the wings or whatever I'm painting. So I just go straight to the building owner, and I have yet to have a problem with the city saying, you know, that I shouldn't have done that or anything, because ultimately you're adding to the city and they like it. But I have never asked permission, so that's my experience. Have you guys asked permission?
So basically you're saying ask forgiveness, not permission.
Well, kind of, but like ask the building owner, because that's truly like who you need to ask. But always ask somebody. Don't just you know, don't just go paint.
And that's a good point, because like even with us, we've done quite a few murals, and I can say that the building owner is ultimately responsible for getting the proper permits.
Yeah.
So that's not something the artist does, and so you could take on that responsibility, but as Andrea says, you might run into a can of worms. It's better to put that responsibility on the building owner. And most of the time, especially in a small town or something like that, they all know each other, so they've got a verbal agreement or something. In some bigger spaces, it's a lot more complicated. I know that I've had to go to city meetings with my client, because they wanted to ask me questions on things, and it's usually pretty painless. I've actually, the worst experience I ever had was here in my own city, where they wanted to me to paint a mural, and they made it so difficult to keep going up there and take sketches and all this kind of stuff. And it was something that, you know, it was not a paid gig. I'm trying to do something nice, and they made it so difficult that it was almost not worth doing.
Yeah.
So, which goes back to ask forgiveness.
I think it varies from city to city, because you know, it just depends on where you are. Some places are going to be lenient, and others are going to put the hammer on you. Okay, Dubs wants to share. Dubs, we're going to get to you in a couple minutes. Dubs is a good friend from Florida. But I want to get to another question from Stephen. Stephen wrote, I bought Krylon Crystal Clear to spray my watercolor paper, but accidentally bought gloss instead of satin. Can you explain the difference between the two?
Yeah, you know, the gloss might work on the paper. Basically what happens is there's just different additives, and the gloss has, I think it's wax actually that comes in, and it causes the surface to to lay down real gently. It might not have that bad of effect on paper, but that's why I specified satin or even flat, because that's going to give you kind of a different finish. Flat's almost like no finish, and satin just is like it's a sheen, but it's not shiny. And all that does is allow the pen to go over the paper nicely. So, you know, just try it. I mean, what's the worst that can happen? That you ruin a piece of paper, but it should work just fine. Gloss is usually good for small things, but if you're doing something big like a surfboard, it's hard to get it even without like a big automotive sprayer. So I hope that answers the question.
So a couple people asked, what kind of paper are you using, Andrea?
Oh, I'm using just like a big, I'm not actually sure, because I was actually going to ask, are you supposed to spray something over this paper to make it easier to do the Poscas on?
Yeah, so when we started doing these paint parties, you know, a lot of people didn't have much supplies, so people were just getting whatever they could.
Yeah.
So Poscas tend to work really well on canvas and on skateboards and wood, and on paper it kind of tends to soak in, so it's a little bit harder to blend. You're probably having that issue.
A little bit, yeah.
Yeah, and so what I'd suggested to people was that they could spray like satin clear acrylic, like a fixative, on their paper, and it would allow it not to wick in and soak into the paper, so that the paint stayed wet longer, so that you could blend it. And it's good that people had taken that advice and at least gone out and tried it, because there's a solution for every problem. For myself, you know, doing this for 30 years, I kind of forget that I have solutions to problems. I've already faced a lot of these problems. I don't really know that other people are having a problem with it until they ask. So please do ask questions. It's more than likely I've had to deal with it.
Okay, John wants to know, Andrea, any chance you'll make it here to Detroit for the murals in the Market Festival? We could use some wings.
I would love to. Is
When
that festival still going on this year or going on the next year?
I think we're probably looking at 2021 for most festivals, quite honestly.
Okay. Well, we could maybe plan ahead. I would love to know more information about that. I'm definitely down to check it out.
Okay, Drew, question from Steven. What size Posca pen is good for starting with? What size should you start with?
I think either the 7 mils or the 5 mils. So, and I'll tell you the difference. So this is a 5 mil pen. Let's see if we can get, or I think Andrea is also using the 5s. So this is a 5 mil pen. It makes a smaller line. So I'll make a line on my canvas, and you can see that line. You see that little line right there? And so this is good for small projects. So like I did all these paintings like this one with the 5s. So if you're doing a painting about this size or smaller.
Can you turn that around so it's not upside down?
Oh, there we go. That was my happy mushroom from Monday. But you know, if you're doing something this size or smaller, it's good for to use the 5s and the 3s. But if you're doing something bigger, like I'm doing here, I'm using the 7s. So anything bigger than those little paintings, you just want to get busy and start painting as fast as possible. The skateboard decks are mainly the 7s, and then I take the 5s and 3s and do detail. The surfboards are mainly 7s, and same thing, just the 5s and 3s are detail.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
So somebody, Patricia Howell said, I know Andrea from the Doula Foundation. She painted live at our event and the mural in our yoga room.
Cool.
Oh yeah, hello.
Is that awesome?
Yeah.
So cool.
It must feel cool knowing that, you know, like your art's out there, like making somebody happy, like right now.
It does, yeah. Yeah, it really does. Like, when I started doing this photo op art because like, first off, Springfield is like a blank canvas right now still. Like, we're not a super big artsy town. And so there was just a whole lot of opportunity for someone to come in and paint stuff. And like, I noticed like the first time I painted the butterfly, people just flocked to it and they were like, this is so cool. And so I was like, well, if they like it here, I'm going to paint it other places. And so that's where I got that whole, like, I do this like Worldwide Wings project where I paint wings anytime I travel somewhere, or I try to, at schools or whatnot. And so, but yeah, that all started in Springfield and just seeing people's reactions to it, because people loved it. I hear that it's on Tinder quite a bit.
Oh, wow. That's classic. Well, it's just a good example of, you know, as a professional artist, or even as, you know, somebody in a, you know, some of you out there who are painting right now, you could be doing something cool for your town that makes a difference in people's lives. You know, you just think of that, like, by creating this piece of art publicly, that all of a sudden everybody gets to use it and share it. And what a great, you know, gift. So, I mean, I, you know, a lot of people talk about art as, you know, they're not really sure what it is, but it makes people either think, or it makes people happy. And no matter where you are, you have that ability as an artist to do that for people, especially now during this crazy time. You know, just by us all doing this art, I hope that it's bringing something positive. And I know it is for me. You know, I just, you know, got to know Andrea, and now she's on the show. Now she's out here talking to all of you. What a great way to communicate. And then all this art's going to spill out online over the next week. That's kind of the coolest thing, Andrea. You're going to see all the butterflies that are being created tonight.
Yep. Inspired by you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'd like to tell people about Andrea's awesome podcast. Andrea, what's the name of your podcast?
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, so it's the Artist Academy podcast, and you can find that by just searching like artistacademypodcast.com. And yeah, but that, it's funny because I started the podcast partially as an excuse to reach out to people who I really just want to be friends with. And so I reached out to you, Maria, and I was like crossing my fingers. I'm like, I've read her book twice. Like, please just want, and you were so responsive. You're like, yes, I would love to. I was like, oh my gosh. And so, and then Drew, and I think I've interviewed 50, 60 other artists, and they're all just artists that I admire and follow on Instagram, and I'm like, I bet we would be friends. And so podcast is kind of like my excuse to interview them and get to know them and network a little bit and get like helpful tips for artists as well, and just kind of dig into like their art businesses and see like how do they get jobs, and just kind of help inspire aspiring artists to go full time. Because I remember, I mean, 7-8 years ago, I was like, I want to do this so bad, but I have no idea how to become an artist. So I think like starting the podcast is just a really good way to share stories and connect and just show aspiring artists what's possible.
Yeah, I love that. Well, and I think we all need to share with each other, because being in the business of art is, you know, it's a little challenging. So you have to, there's a lot of things you got to figure out. And if everybody helps each other, it makes it a little bit easier.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. And Andrea, what route did you take? Did you go to school?
Yeah. So I have a degree in painting with a minor in business and a minor in education. So I'm using everything, teaching, business, and art, which you know, it's funny because whenever I went to school, I did not think that I would actually become an artist. I was like, yeah, I'm going to go to school for painting because like I like it. But then as soon as I graduated, I was like, I have a degree in coloring. What am I going to do with that? You know? And then I just started, you know, painting logos for businesses around town, because every business loves their logo and they want it everywhere. And so I kind of found that niche, and then I got hired by Bass Pro Shops and painted with them on the road. I was on the road for 2 years straight. I think I was home for, 2 weeks, 1 year.
What a great gig.
Oh, I know. I was such a blessing, and I am so lucky to have gotten that. And especially just working around other artists that Bass Pro already had on their staff, just artists that are just masters in their field. So I got to learn from them and being on the road and getting paid for it. And it was just an amazing gig, especially for an artist just starting out.
Yeah. And so, yeah, I just think Bass Pro Shops is a cool store. And I had noticed that they employ a lot of artists. Everything's like painted in there, and it's really cool. Anybody who's never been to one needs to, if they ever go by one, go inside. It's really cool.
Yeah, everything's hand painted, and yeah, they have like usually like 4 to 5 muralists and some lettering artists, and just every single thing. Like they make everything. They have carpenters in there, like hand making all the little things that make Bass Pro unique. So yeah, it's a really cool company.
Have you ever seen the gas station Maverick? They have a lot of murals too.
Oh yeah?
Yeah, they're mainly in Utah, and I think there's a few in Montana, but you know, like we've driven all over the place, and they have these amazing like killer murals like all throughout they have, like, it's like a gas station restaurant. But I was just very impressed that, you know, there are companies out there who employ muralists and artists. And I just, you know, I really appreciate that they do that, because it makes it for a cooler place.
So speaking of murals, Drew, I'm going to share a photo of the mural you painted in Myrtle Beach, because somebody wrote in the chat, and let me see, can you see that?
Oh yeah.
So I'm looking for the chat. Somebody wrote in the chat that they just drove by that in Myrtle Beach. So that's what made me want to share it.
What year was that, honey?
2012.
2012. So that was done with spray cans.
Okay.
And so anybody knowing, like, wanting to do a mural project, so that was about 500 cans of spray paint. It arrived on a truck, and I had to get a forklift to unload it. And I think that wall was 60 feet by something.
15. I think it's 15 feet high, 60 feet long.
Yeah.
I remember properly.
How long did that take you?
10 days.
Oh wow, that's pretty good turnaround for a mural that size.
Yeah, we hired somebody to help because we couldn't get a forklift. And so this is one of the things that can go wrong. I don't know what just happened to my screen. This is one of the things that can go wrong with a mural, though, where you don't know if something's going to go wrong, but you can't plan for something. So we couldn't get a forklift, so we got one of those rolling scaffoldings, but we couldn't roll it because there was like a dirt bed right there. So we had to hire some guy to help Drew move it all day long for like 2 weeks straight.
Yeah, that was Ian Orso. Ian, if you're on the call, thank you for pushing me around.
And he helped paint it too. It actually worked out well.
Yeah, I got him painting later. He still paints today. He's a great artist. Hey, honey, do you have the photos that I sent you? I wanted to send people.
Yes.
So if you see on Andrea's page right there where she printed out that butterfly, that's a butterfly I did for a charity event. I don't know what year that was.
Let me share my screen and I will get to it. Hang on just a second. Let me get the right picture up. So is that the one you want me to show?
No, that's a little one.
Wait a minute.
The picture of you. There's a picture of you with it.
There we go.
There she is.
There we go. I don't remember what year that was. That was like, that was like 2001, 5 or 3 or early 2000s.
I don't think Dylan was born yet. I don't think Dylan.
Well, I don't know. Maybe you're right.
Andrea, you would have loved this. These butterflies were made of aluminum, and they had 50 people paint them. And then they did a big art show. This is right up your alley.
Oh, wow. Yeah, that is. That's amazing. It's so big too. I love it.
Yeah, and it was on this stand. It was kind of funky though, because it was already welded together. So trying to paint that thing was really hard. And anyway, and then I think is there a picture of my wave butterfly? Yeah, that one.
That's cool.
Yeah, so this one was pretty cool, and this was done for a t-shirt. And I made a wave look like a butterfly with flowers. And it just shows you some of the ideas of just the shape of a butterfly is beautiful, that symmetry. And so hopefully out there, you know, we're going to hopefully go around and this is probably a good time to check out other people's stuff.
Yeah, we've got a couple hands raised.
Yeah, let's look at Andrea's first. Look at how Andrea's is coming together.
Oh yeah. Kind of having fun with it.
Awesome.
She's in the zone. She's just like painting away.
Yeah. That's what she does.
Andrea, are you like me? Like I'm more comfortable talking while I'm painting than I am not painting.
I don't know. You know, I've never actually done both, I think. Well, except for maybe instructing. But no, it's just kind of like, it's so right brain and left brain. So it's actually amazing what you can do while you're creating, like talking, listening to books, listening to like podcasts. I love that we can like learn and just create.
Yeah, and that was one of the questions you asked me, what I listen to, and so do you have any tips on what you listen to that helps you create?
You know, I don't know. I'm such like an entrepreneur at heart kind of a thing. I'd say like I'm half entrepreneur and half artist. So I'm listening to business books all day long and I don't get bored of it. Like just like online marketing, sales, all of that. So when it comes to artist podcasts, I'm like Artist Academy, but I love to listen to business.
That's
like,
why you're so good at business and marketing.
Specifically business women, which is why.
Yeah. Well, that's great.
Have you heard of Brooke Castillo?
I've heard the name.
You got to listen to her podcast. Amazing.
Okay.
Absolutely. You will love her. Okay, so we have a couple more questions and quite a few hands raised. Let's go to Santino. Santino, if you are ready, we are going to spotlight you. Hi.
Hi.
What's up, Santino?
So, I'm doing kind of like a bubble with butterflies.
Oh, perfect.
That's
So
awesome.
I'm gonna work with one here. There's gonna be another one maybe there and here.
All right. Dude, you're
I
blending.
like the idea kind of like a cocoon maybe. So I can start with a cocoon and then make it like kind of like turn into a butterfly.
Yeah. That's great. Your blending has gotten really good, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Tell Andrea where you're from.
I'm from Argentina.
Yeah.
So cool. I'll actually be in Argentina in August. And,
Oh, seriously?
Yeah.
Sweet. Where?
What's your capital? Oh
Buenos
wait.
Aires?
Oh yeah. Yes. Sorry. Yeah. So we'll be there. Where are you?
Where are you at, Santino?
Exactly.
I'm at Tigre, like north zone. It's called
North
Zona Norte.
Are you in the mountains, Santino?
No. That's way out.
It's a big country, huh?
Yep.
Big
Super big.
country. All right. Well, you're
Well, let me show you something.
okay.
Okay.
So Santino, it looks great.
I finished it.
Good job, man.
That's
So good.
awesome.
It took a bit, but I finally got it.
That's
That's
amazing.
great.
This is not your first day.
Yeah, nice to see you, Santino. Good job. And then
Yeah,
Maria,
Thank you too.
Maria or David, somebody's at the door. If you guys,
Right at the door. David, will you?
it's funny. So I'll be
Thanks,
sitting here, and
David.
I can see the front door, and people are staring at me. And
They're staring in the door. Okay, we're going to go to Ellen Thomas next. Okay, Ellen, if you're ready. Hi.
Wow,
Whoa.
Ellen, that's amazing.
Oh my gosh, that is unbelievable.
How you painted it on the visor. Good job.
I had to sand it first in order
Yeah.
to get it to work.
Was that killing you having to sand that plexiglass?
No, because it's the polycarbonate, and I masked it off first and then sanded it with 400 grit sandpaper just in the masked area. so that
Yeah.
all of these guys could be painted and it'll stick forever. And
Yeah.
I used the suggestion of look, he's got 2 noses.
Yeah.
I used your Krylon to finish it. And this also comes with a visor
Oh, cool.
that goes over, same thing. But yeah,
Yeah.
this was a great project using acrylic paints and Poscas to blend.
Yeah.
That's amazing.
Is that your helmet or your husband's
It's
helmet?
mine. I ride.
You're going to be like, people are going to be stopping, taking pictures of you while you're riding.
They already do with my bike because
Yeah.
it looks like a dragon too.
It does.
Really?
And where are you again?
I'm in Riverside over the hill from you, and I'm going to ride over and say howdy one of these days.
Yeah,
better.
please do. Please do.
Yeah, we want to see you in our parking lot with that crazy bike and that crazy helmet.
The
Yeah.
dragon will be there.
Yeah, thanks for
Awesome.
sharing.
Yeah, thank you. All right, let's go to Alex next. Alex, if you're ready, we're coming for. Oh, your video's not on, Alex. Turn your video on, and then we can come to you. Okay, so we're gonna go to Rudy. Oh, Rudy Robinson.
Ruby. Hi.
Or Ruby. Sorry, Ruby. That's my eyeballs there.
What's up?
That's her little patchwork one she just did.
Oh, wow.
Good.
I know. I'm pretty impressed. Hi,
You guys are having fun in the garage?
We are, yeah.
It's like your own private paint party.
Yeah.
And are you painting too? Let's see, Mom. Oh, yeah.
Anyways, I like hers better, so.
And where are you guys joining us from?
We're in San Clemente too.
Oh, cool. So
You
you're
know
the
my
one.
husband. My husband's Mitch, who did the Tales from the Cobblestones
Oh,
podcast.
yeah.
So,
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh, that's your husband.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
He's actually doing a podcast right now, which is why he's not here. So.
Oh,
cool.
cool. I love his podcast. It's awesome.
Oh, thanks, guys.
Yeah,
It's
thank
fun.
you.
Thanks for painting with us.
Of course, thank you.
All right. Oh, this is so great. We get to see everybody.
I know. Okay, let's go to, we're gonna go to Taylor Blackman. Taylor, if you are ready, we're coming for you. Hi.
Hey, Taylor.
Hi, how's it going?
Good. Let's see what you're working on.
So I didn't get anything ready beforehand, but I'm really struggling doing the other side. I should have traced or done a cutout or something. But what I want to know is how to make it like yours is more like 3D, and every time I do it, it always looks really flat. How do I blend more to do like more blues and?
Yeah, so the trick is to like take 3 colors. So like in that case, you would take like dark blue, light blue, and white.
Okay.
And you put the dark blue down first, and then you blend the light blue into it real kind of fast. And you can't so you can't work you can't like do all the dark blue and then do it. You have to work in little sections. So
Got
if
it.
you notice on mine, I have just like little areas that I work in.
Yeah.
And then I just have the 3 pens in my hand, and I just try to blend it. So like this area here, I did the dark blue here, and then I blended that light blue all the way around. I didn't worry about the rest of it, just this section.
Okay.
And then you'll get the hang of it. Maybe on a
Perfect.
scratch piece of cardboard or something, just practice that blending. And once you get it, your whole new world will open up for you.
Sweet. That's awesome. Thank
Awesome.
you. So dark to light.
Yeah. And so where are you joining us from?
Pacific City, Oregon, a little beach town.
Oh, cool. I love
Yeah.
the waves get really big in Oregon. I love it.
Yes. Yep. I moved here for surfing. It's awesome.
Right on.
Oh,
Thanks for
you
joining us.
must like big waves. So, and Drew, I was gonna suggest on Monday, for our paint party on Monday, you should do another blending focused paint party.
Yeah, I will. So on Monday, I'll
Do that.
do a class at Gears right towards blending, because that is what everybody has the most questions about.
Yeah.
And it is the most liberating thing. Once you figure out that blend,
Oh, yeah,
you can't wait to try it on other things.
Okay, so now we're gonna go to Lance. Lance, if you're ready.
Hey
Hi
there.
there. How are you?
Hey, this is awesome. Thank you guys for hosting this.
Yeah.
My daughter Stella's with me.
Right on. How's your paintings coming?
It's coming along. It's coming along. We're starting a little bit. We jumped in a little bit late, but
That looks
I'm trying
great.
to do some
That
blending.
looks amazing. Hold it up again.
Sure, sorry.
I love
That's
the pink.
really good.
Yeah. So the goal is to get rid of all the white. So as you go and just keep working on it and cruising and having a good time together, you'll all of a sudden get to the point like, wow, I think it's done. And it's amazing.
Yeah, awesome. So just so you know, we have 10 minutes to go. So if anybody, so we've got a couple more people that want to share, and I'm getting to you all. Cam, we're going to get to you in just a second. I got to find you. Cam is under Susan.
We've got lots of folks.
There we
What's
go.
up?
All right.
Let's see if we can get these folks unmuted.
I'm working on it.
It
There we
takes a
go.
second.
Hi.
Hey,
Hi.
what's going on?
So this is what I'm painting.
Oh, man.
That's
That
so
is
cool.
good. So did you do the stencil back and forth? Or did you do it?
No, I didn't make one.
Yeah,
Yeah, I just freehanded it.
that's good, man. Look, well, it looks like you have a lot of art around. Did you do that or your mom do that?
Like some of my siblings, neighbors,
cool.
friends. Yeah.
Yeah, is mom painting too?
Yeah.
I'm supervising.
He's doing a good job.
Yeah, he's good.
Did you see
Awesome.
some of Andrea's murals that she did?
Mhm.
Those are pretty cool, huh?
Yeah, I like those. Those are cool.
Yeah, sometimes it's easier to paint bigger than it is smaller. So get rid of all that white. I can't wait to see it when it's done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, now we're going to go to P. Dougherty. I'm not sure if I'm pronouncing that right. P. Dougherty. You are going to have to correct me on that. Hi.
Hello.
How are you?
Can we see what you're working on?
Show us your butterfly.
So cute.
Oh, that's adorable.
Look at
Andrea,
that.
look at all these people you inspired.
I love it. I am just eating this up. This is amazing. Thank you for drawing with us and painting with us.
Awesome.
Isn't it great? We're seeing families painting together.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is so cool.
Okay, now we're going to go to Chris Cuddy. Chris, let's see what you got. How's it going?
What's up, Chris?
Hey, pretty good. How are you?
We're good. What you working on?
I'm working on moving right now.
Uh-oh. You're listening
Yeah,
and moving
renovation.
at the same time?
Yeah, but I really like you guys. Really enjoy this. So, yeah, I have a few things to show. I have an idea for the butterfly, but that'll go on something else.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yeah, I have might notice that.
Oh, yeah, that looks so good.
Whoa.
That's so cool.
Oh, yeah, the stones.
Yeah, I figured that was fitting.
Yeah.
And that was one of my first attempts with Posca Pens.
Yeah.
And yeah, really appreciate all your info.
Cool, man. You know, it's just so nice to be able to share the pens because it's just something more intuitive, and you guys are all doing such a great job. Hopefully you had an easy time clear coating that.
All right, now we're going to go say hi to Dubs. We're running out of time, so I'm going to move a little quicker.
Maria,
I do that towards, I'm the
gotta be quick,
Gestapo.
Dobbs. Maria's rushing everybody off.
I just want to get to as many people as possible.
Hey, Drew! Is this stuff familiar, brother?
Yeah, man, that looks sick.
I got that from your book, man. Really small.
Yeah, a little small.
Yeah.
Right on. How you doing down there in Florida?
I'm doing good, man. I just painted a Biolis board. You'll see that if you haven't seen it. So
yeah, I'll look on your Instagram, man.
Yeah, it's cool. Shaped by them, so.
Look, we look like brothers. We both got the chops going.
I know, right?
Awesome.
Right
Thanks.
on, Dubs.
Thanks, Dubs. It was
Okay,
great.
guys. See ya.
So
All right.
Okay, now Andrea wants to share. So let's go to her. Hang on just 1 second. There we go. Hi, Andrea.
Hey, how are you guys?
Good.
Great.
Love seeing you guys. I love it. Thank you so much. And Andrea's art is phenomenal. So thank you
Thank
for
you. I
having her
appreciate
on.
it, Andrea.
So, Here's the butterfly I'm working on.
Let's
See if you can see it.
There we go.
Hold it up. Wait a minute. Can't see it.
Oh, there it is.
There we
Oh,
go.
it's so
Okay, hold
good.
still for a sec. Hold still.
Oh,
I
that's
love that
Nice. It's
background on
gorgeous.
there. Super cool.
Thank
Love it.
you.
drinking some nectar.
And I finished my eye. I don't know if you guys saw it.
Oh yeah, that's a good one.
Oh my God. That's amazing. And tell everybody where you are, for those who don't know.
I'm in Sholo, Arizona.
Hello, Arizona. So where's Jim at?
Sometime. Sholo, Arizona.
Yeah, Jim's wandering around in the background.
Yeah, that's the old man. Say hi, Steve.
So Andrea, so for people who don't know, which is most of the people here right now, Andrea and Jim own a number of Drew Brophy paintings.
Yeah,
That's Steve.
some of the cool. Yeah, Steve has them. Yeah, look at it. Oh,
There
that
it
looks
is.
great.
And yeah,
book.
and we're gonna get that in the mail any day now, right?
You'll get it on Monday.
Monday.
Yeah.
That looks great.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, thank you guys.
Thank you, Taylor. Saw that. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Oh, we're so excited. Thanks, guys.
Yeah, it's on Amazon. If anyone wants to check it out, it's on Amazon. Baja Bad.
Baja
Bad
Bad.
on Amazon.com. There you go.
Yeah.
And so I did. He did the book of. It's like all the bad things that can happen to you in Baja. Well, the book, that's what the painting's about. The book is more stories. Is that right?
Oh, sorry, I muted her.
Let's get Andrea back real quick.
Okay, hang on. Unmute. There we go.
Andrea is still there?
Yeah.
Tell them what the stories are about.
Yeah, the stories are kind of a mixture of Gothic and Southwestern stories from Arizona, Mexico, Baja, and some poems, some haiku, some short stories all mixed together, a little bit of Watson philosophy. But yeah, the favorite part is the cover by Drew Brophy.
Yeah. That was such a fun painting. Thank you for the support.
Thank
Hey,
you. We
and-
love your art.
Love it.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, I apologize for saying Andrea and Jim. It's Andrea and Steve. Believe it or not, we have another Andrea and Jim that's always on our parties. So that's little wires crossed there.
Now we're
Okay, so we have a couple more hands raised. Keone, our good friend from, there you go. Hi, Keone.
Hi, how are you?
Good. What are you working on?
I'm working on Dumbo, the elephant that has like the wing ears.
The big. God, that's a great idea.
I'm making it the butterfly ears.
Yeah.
And I made the
mushrooms.
Mushrooms, yeah, with the scorpion and a rhinoceros beetle.
Wow, that's like really small. How'd you paint that so small?
Yeah, it was difficult. It was really difficult.
That's a great job, Ken. It's really cool that you're painting on like different stuff. And
thank you.
Yeah, that's a good idea, huh, Andrea? The Dumbo ears. Andrea's painting away.
Okay, now we're gonna go to Doran. Doran, if you are ready, we are bringing you on. Let me unmute. Whoops, no, I hit mute. There we go. Hi, Doran. What's
Hi,
up?
hello.
Hey, Doran, what
This is
you
what I'm working on?
All right, you got it all sketched on there and just painting away?
Yeah, it's glow in the dark paint, so I'm really excited to see how it's gonna look when it's finished.
Oh, that'll look great.
And I actually have a question for you about a surfboard.
Sure.
So I have that foam board, if you see it in the
Yeah.
back, and I want to know how I can paint like the foam part.
The foam, so the foam's gonna be really hard to paint because it's it presses in and the paint will come up. So
Right.
it'll be very difficult to paint a foam board. If you do paint it, it might last for a little while with the Poscas, but it's not going to hold up as well as a fiberglass board.
Okay, so it won't last in the water?
you could do it the same traditional way, like which you could paint it with the paint pens and then spray clear on it. It's just not going to last as long. It will go on there, but you know, I would suggest maybe like doing like small things, and instead of like a big giant painting. So you could just like paint some like I call it a tattoo hit, like a little skull or a flower or like an icon, and see how that holds up first. And if that seems like it's holding up, you can add to it. How's that sound?
Okay, now we're gonna go to Alex.
Hi.
Hi, Alex.
I'm Alejandra.
Alejandra.
I don't have your markers yet because I ordered it yesterday with Maria.
Oh, cool. And where are you?
But I did this with different ones.
Great. And what did you use? Magic markers or?
I don't know. I bought this Azteca.
Oh yeah, those are cool.
Yeah, this kind.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I have some Sharpies.
And some Sharpies. So it's good to have an art box full of all kinds of stuff, because you never know what's going to work best.
Yeah, but I bought yours yesterday, the 3. I want the 5 now. Because you said that we can work bigger.
Work bigger. And where are you joining us from?
I live in California, but I'm from Costa Rica.
Ah.
You know, that's why I have this accent.
I love Costa Rica. Welcome.
Yeah, thank you. Yeah, thank you for having this for us.
Yeah, no problem. I'm really enjoying it, and I'm enjoying meeting everybody from all over the place. And the best part is I like seeing what you paint.
So now we're going to go to Greenville, South Carolina. Ross McLean.
No way.
What's up, Ross?
There he is.
Hey. Show
My
us what you're working
people,
on.
look at you all. Oh my gosh, you know, I was just doing a little butterfly here, and you know, Drew, I just thought I'd go ahead and paint on glass and make it really challenging.
Oh my gosh, that is amazing.
I know, right?
Insane.
Insane, right? Listen, Andrea, I'm so glad and so happy for you that you got to meet these two folks. They are amazing. Some of my most favorite people in the world, and I'm so happy that you got to meet them. And Drew, you guys and Maria doing this on Fridays, it just makes my Friday because I get to see you all. I don't see you enough. You're amazing. I love you both so much. Thanks for doing this.
Well, thanks, Ross. We love seeing you too. It makes me happy to see you on these all the time. So thank you.
And Ross, so what did you paint the on the glass? Did you use that with Sharp or the Poscas, or with? Or what'd you do? That's amazing.
Oh, that's Poscas. Thanks, that's Poscas. I've got all this old glass sitting around, and so I thought, you know what? We'll just paint on it. You have to do it in reverse, right?
Yeah.
So you have to layer, you have to work it back, but that's Poscas, and then that's a clear coat. You really can't see it. A clear coat on the back that gets this splash effect.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Did
you have to put that? You have to put the black down first.
Yeah.
I gotta work backwards. Yeah. Isn't that crazy?
Do you put the black down on one side and then paint the back side?
Yeah. So you put the black on it. Now paint it on the front side too to give it some dimension.
Yeah,
it looks like this from the back. Isn't that crazy?
It looks so cool.
Isn't that wild?
Really awesome.
So did you paint that during the lockdown here?
Yeah, I've been painting on it.
This is the best thing that ever happened to you.
I know.
The lockdown, you're gonna paint everything.
I know, it's crazy, but that's pretty wild. But again, you guys are amazing. Thanks for doing this.
Yeah.
Thanks, Ross.
You know, it's inspiring to see all the other people doing stuff too. It's wonderful to get people to make things together.
Yeah.
And you guys are sending out some pretty awesome energy, and and I get to see Andrea and meet all these other artists that you get the guys to engage with, and all of us amateurs that are out there just trying to get inspired by you guys. It's really special. So
thank you. And it really feels like we're hanging out, doesn't it?
I know, it's awesome. I just love listening to you guys talk and share. I was trying to find that trailer when you were showing that mural down in Myrtle Beach.
Yeah.
And I remember when you were doing that, and I was going to try to get down there, but I couldn't make it. But I was trying to find the trailer that you did with the students here, and we still have it. It's awesome.
Well, that was such a cool project, you know, dragging that creativity and that spontaneousness out of your students.
Yeah, and you know what? Those Posca pens really cracked people open too. I mean, it really opened up. You know, I don't even know how many years ago that was. That must have been 20.
It was 2012.
2012, and
2012.
Yeah, and I just and to Andrea's point, I just kind of Googled you guys and found you and started having a discussion and invited you out, and you brought those Poscas to the front and the spray paint, and it really just opened up the students to be fearless as they engaged in art and creating things, because everybody has to think they have to do it with a brush and paint, and that just opened it up. So
yeah.
That was cool to watch. So to let everybody know, so Ross is from Furman University, and his art students, I guess there was about 30 of them, maybe.
Yeah.
And I wanted to show them kind of what it was like to be a professional artist, and how, you know, you get this project and you get a funky thing that you're pitched to paint, and you got to figure it out. You have to do what they want. And so the students each like paired off into groups and did like each side of this trailer, and based off of theme. So they had to work together, design it, and then prep the trailer and then paint it with all these different materials. And I gotta say, it was really impressive and fun to watch these art students, and now probably professional artists, attack this thing as a group. And the end product was just amazing. It had so much personality and life, and it was a group project that almost looked like one artist had created it. So it was a good exercise. Thanks for having me, Ross. That was amazing.
Yeah, thanks, Ross. So we just have a couple minutes left, and
let's go over time. Come on.
well, we are going over, but still, what I'm saying is I want to show. There's a few hands raised. And Kurt wants to show his hat, and we're gonna get to Kurt in a second. And by the way, Kurt says awesome fish on the glass.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are commenting how awesome that glass painting is, Ross, just so you know. If you look in the Zoom chat, there's a lot of people just going crazy over it.
Ross is too modest. He's an amazing artist.
I know, he is too modest. But before I share everything, show everybody else's screen, there's one thing I want to share real quick. And Andrea just got married, and I want to just show pictures she got married. Andrea, where did you get married?
In Aruba.
Okay, so she got married in Aruba, and then her honeymoon was, well, hold on a second, wait, my wrong picture. Hold on, let me get there. Okay, this is the wedding picture. In Aruba.
Oh, wow.
And I've got one more to show. I just wanted to show this because when was this, like a month ago?
Yeah, it was basically a month ago. We got out and we got back from our honeymoon right before everything happened. So we were super lucky in that.
Well, I remember seeing pictures of your honeymoon like in Antarctica, and I was thinking, oh my gosh, she might not be able to get back in the country because things were already shutting down. Did you take this photo?
Yes, yeah, and it was really cool because like they're big on like animal safety out in Antarctica, as they should be, and just like there's so many rules and regulations for good reason. And with the penguins, you couldn't get within 5 meters of the penguins, but if you went and got within 5 meters and got right at that 5 meter mark, they're so curious that they would just come up to you and kind of like nip at your clothes and just hang out, and like it was just so cool.
Oh, that's so cool. I love that picture. And then here's the one more picture I grabbed off of your Facebook because I thought it was cool, and that was
the ship
part of your honeymoon too. That's just such a cool photo. It must have been cold there.
Yeah. Yeah, it was pretty cool. It was like oh yeah, that was the diving team, and it's funny because all those people in there, they either dove or snorkeled in the water almost every single day.
Wow, that's amazing. All right, I just wanted to share that because I just thought that was so cool. Okay, so can we show a couple more before we call it?
Yeah,
Call it
go to
quits?
Kurt.
Okay.
I know Kurt's probably
All right, Kurt is jumping in his shoes. Kurt, we're coming to you. Be ready with your hat. We're gonna move quickly.
Hey, there he is. What's up, Kurt?
Can you hear me, guys?
Yeah, we can hear you, brother.
Yeah, this is a hat I did today with my one of my guitar logos.
Oh yeah, the cat.
Oh, cool.
Actually, I started making patches with my art now.
That's great, man.
Yeah, I started doing it on canvas and put the Velcro on there, and I'm just experimenting with new things for my products and stuff for a licensing deal in the future.
Yeah.
Awesome.
It
Thanks,
looks pro.
Kurt.
I like how it's off to the side more than just front and center.
All right, now I'm gonna go to, sorry, I'm gonna go to Tracy. I'm just gonna move quick so we don't miss anybody.
Hey, Tracy.
Hi,
Oh, wow, look at Tracy.
Andrea.
Bro.
Oh, I love that. I love that it's on a round canvas as well. That's so different.
And it's like metallic?
Yeah, I had gold leaf, this piece of wood, like a million years ago, and I was just looking for something to paint on today, and I just grabbed it. So I can make mistakes on that if I have to.
Awesome.
Yeah. That looks
So
so
cool.
good. And where are you joining us from?
Chesapeake Beach, Maryland.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for joining us. Your piece is amazing.
And you're an art teacher, right?
Yeah, I'm an elementary art teacher right now.
I just talked to you on the phone. Was that yesterday? I don't know. The
Yeah.
days are running into each other. Good to
That was
see
a great. Yeah, thank you so much for all the info, and I can't wait to get my pens.
Yeah, I packed them and shipped them personally myself. Well, I had a little help, David, sorry. David's on here. He's like, wait a minute, I helped too. I did it. I did half of it. All right, well, thanks for sharing. Appreciate that.
Thank you.
All right, we're gonna go to Kiara next. Kiara.
Hey.
Hi.
So I'm working on a surfboard fin, the very middle one.
Oh, perfect. That's a perfect way to do butterfly on. So now you're going to have to do the other one, though. The other fin on the other side.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
So is that
so
all-
far.
is that
I started a little late because I had dinner.
That's okay.
awesome.
So is that on your board, or is that going to be on your dad's board, or?
This board is actually down in Florida, so I hope it's mine.
You hope it's yours, yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you.
All right, we're gonna go to Sifi. I don't know if I'm saying that right, but you never know with these.
Hi. My
Hey.
name is Sefe.
What's up?
Sefe. Hi.
Yeah. I am Santino's brother. And
cool.
I'm new. I usually I love I usually do not really paint, but I love drawing a lot. I'm doing a lot of drawing since, I don't know, 2 months. And I usually go for more, but I didn't have that much time. I got that.
Good though, man.
And some time ago I did this one. That was like a wolf.
Yeah.
There's one too on the other side.
Yeah.
And for last I got and I made an acrylic eye.
Oh, you did a big eye, yeah.
That's amazing.
All right, man. You're giving your brother a run for his money.
Thank you.
Thanks
That's
for
awesome.
sharing.
Okay. All right. One last person, Matthew Leonard, and then we're going to wind it down.
Hello.
Hi.
Hello. Look at that one. I think that's my favorite one.
This is Violet.
Hey, Violet.
Hi,
Good
Violet.
job.
That's so awesome.
This is Mimi.
Mimi's is-
We live in Novato, California.
Oh, cool.
So I did the mushroom with you guys with my sister Ann. She's on there too. And Violet wanted to do this one.
Oh, well,
So,
perfect. It looks like you
thanks
guys
for
are having
us.
Yeah, it looks like you guys are having fun.
Violet and Mimi win. We are having fun.
Yeah, I love.
We're learning about blending with our fingers.
Yeah. Some people like to use a Q-tip or even a brush, or
Oh.
there's no rules, Violet. You can just, the only rules I usually say is get rid of all the white.
Yeah.
So fill it up, full color.
Okay.
All right.
We'll come again.
All right. Thanks for joining us. So, wow, this has been amazing.
This has been fun. I love seeing what everybody's creating.
Yeah.
So it's time to say thank you and so long. And I wanted to tell everybody that we put the replays to all of these paint parties on the Brophy Art Academy YouTube channel. So go to the YouTube channel, click subscribe, never miss one. Our next week, let me tell you what we have coming up next week.
Oh, yeah. Next week's amazing, too.
So every week's amazing. Monday, Drew is going to go deep into detail on blending. So it's going to be very instructional on Monday. Mondays are very instructional. And then Friday, we have a guest artist named Jimbo Phillips, and Drew and Jimbo will be painting skateboard decks.
Yeah.
So you can join with your skateboard
Yeah.
deck or anything.
It's-
Of course, anything goes.
So for those of you who don't know, Jimbo's from Santa Cruz. His father, Jim Phillips, they're an artist family. Jim Phillips did all the Santa Cruz skateboard decks, very famous art, the Screaming Hand, and a lot of famous skateboard decks. And Jimbo's just an amazing artist and so much cool stuff. And I just look forward to hanging out with him, because we're both kind of in that surf skate industry, and it'll be good to hear his take on what his career's been like, and so it's really nice.
We're really lucky. Just like Andrea said, how she started her podcast. Andrea, what's the name of your? Tell people how to find your podcast.
Yeah, it's the Artist Academy podcast, and you just go to artistacademypodcast.com.
And what's the best way for people to see your art?
You can go to my Instagram, and you can always send me a DM on Instagram. I check them every single day. Not one gets unchecked. So yeah, just go to my Instagram. It's art by Andrea Ehrhardt. I'm sure my name is kind of hard to spell, but it'll be on this live, I'm sure.
Yeah, we'll make sure we're posting it.
Thanks so much for being with us, Andrea. It was such a joy.
Yeah, and can we have one look at your art piece, Jillian? Can we look at
one last look at Andrea's work?
There we go. Look, she's crushing it. She's way ahead of me.
Crushing it.
So, Andrea, you got to make sure you post it to show everybody.
Post it on Instagram, yeah.
And I'm gonna finish mine. Yeah, I'm gonna do mine just like I always do. I'll do a time lapse so that I'll zip through it so you can see how it all unfolds. I hope everybody likes that. It's better than listening to me talk and paint real slow. But I really want to thank everyone for joining us. And it's really great to meet other artists like Andrea and sharing just, how she does things and what her experience has been like. And for those of you who are looking to be a professional artist or just to be doing something fun in your spare time, I think these discussions and time together is really good. You're not doing anything wrong. It's just hard sometimes as a professional artist, and these times are no different. And for those of you who are just having fun, the experience of creating art is just so meditative and free. It just makes you feel lighter. So thank you for joining us. And I'm excited that somebody is going to win.
Somebody's going to win this and somebody's going to win this. And we might give a couple of these away. It's totally random. We do like a random number generator after we get the report on who's on the who's here at the paint party, and we will announce the winner on Instagram. And thank you all. Have an awesome weekend.
Everybody wave.
Have an awesome weekend. We'll see you on Monday.
All right. Cool.